All right, good friends, here we are, Friday night. What a day it was today. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. What a day. Invigorated. 3 hours with Colin. That guy wouldn't shut up. I love that young man. And we were on with Cassia from Daily Freddo. I'm telling you, it was terrific. And we talked about you. We talked about you the whole time. Being part of this community, this thing of ours, this thing that we're in. It's wonderful. Absolutely, positively wonderful. It is so invigorating. I was just explaining to somebody, I said, you really don't understand kind of how this thing works. I don't think people really get it because when people do their things, I mean, I'm not going to mention any names, but they almost act as though the audience, that the people are not even a part of it. Like you're not important. You're everything. It's not the guest you've got on. It's the fact that we're doing this together with all of us. I know it sounds kind of corny, but corny, by the way, the reason why something is corny is because it's true. It's absolutely true. And what's even more important to understand and to grasp is the idea that we live in this world that's really, I think it's important for us to understand and be, how do I say this? I think it's important to be grateful. Okay. Because I got to tell you something. There's a lot of people out there who just take everything for granted and they think they're so terrific and so great. It's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Anyway, how's everybody doing? I'm waiting for my iPhone camera to kick in. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. By the way, the camera I use is my iPhone, not this. This is the laptop. It's greasy and it's not that good. But the iPhone camera is the best. And there's if you're interested, let me know. It's called Handoff, where you use the camera. By the way, the camera, the iPhone is one of the best, period. So why wouldn't you want to use that? And you put this little doohickey on the end of it, which allows you to hook it on. And anyway, I'm very, very bare bones. And talking to Cassia today, by the way, wasn't she nice? Wasn't she just delightful and classy and just sweet and nice and smart? And so was Colin, sweet and nice and classy and everything. But she had a very, very nice setup. So terrific. And you know what? Like I said, we talked about you. We talked about you and being a part of, there we go. Now watch the phone. Now watch this. This is the phone, a little bit better. And there we go. Now this is at 1080. There we go. See, a little bit better. A little sharper. Sometimes you got to get the hand off right. In any event. So anyway, big news tonight, my guy. By big news. We're going to be getting cameras in the courtroom, which is so critical. Let me just explain something to you right now. I want you just to hear me out. Close your eyes and just imagine what would happen if our boy Tyler gets acquitted. Just think about this. They are going to lose their minds. Think about this. If he were to be acquitted, they wouldn't know what to do. They wouldn't know what to do. This would blow everything apart. And there's such a great chance because the reason for this, remember, is because I think, I'm just saying now, I don't want to be too conspiratorial. You know me. But I think people didn't really expect him to be around. So consequently, they really didn't know what to do. By the way, look at this. You and Cassia killed. Wasn't that good today? That was really good. She's very, very, how do I say this? Very, very smart. And I want to say something, and believe it or not, I'm not saying something I don't know how anybody could take offense at this because what I'm saying is very, very good. But she has a European sensibility, which is really, really important. By the way, tonight, Saturday and Sunday nights, 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., I'm on WABC radio, and they don't know what to make out of me. So make sure you tune into that. You can also hear it later on mini cast. You can hear them back. Hear the different world. If I told them half of what I tell you, they would go crazy. Not the station, but people who live in this world. And they're very, very good, but they live in a different kind of sensibility than we do. We're able to take things a little bit more tough. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Look at this. Now, we're talking about this. A lot of things too. Somebody says, F the UFOs, where are the Epstein files? There are no Epstein files. Mike, I know you're a good man. There are no files. I don't know what you mean by the files. There are no files. You think there's files? You think there's files? You think there's JFK files? No, I'm serious. I'm not trying to be nasty here, but you think there's files? Come on. This is a strange thing. How about this? Somebody says, I was just in Young Turk's chat now. Wow, how things have changed. Let me tell you something. There was a time when I thought old Jenk and I thought Anna Kasperi, I thought they were out of their minds. Not anymore, at least regarding some things. Jenk and I worked together very, very shortly for, it was Air America. I don't know what happened, but he was here. I didn't know who he was. He came in and he was, he and I worked together. Very, very nice, very, very nice guy. Very, very nice guy. But I always thought they were just the typical lib type. See, I don't want somebody who is doctrinaire. I don't want somebody who does the same thing. I will tell you, see, if Trump is wrong, and I've been saying this, I'll tell you when he's wrong. I don't sign on to it. It's like, well, you can't say anything. What do you mean? Well, you can't sign on. What do you mean I can't sign on to that? Well, you can't change your mind. I was listening today to Scott Ritter, Larry Johnson, Judge Napolitano. This is such a joke. Colonel McGregor. This is so stupid. With it, if there's a suspension of urea in order to make fertilizer, there could be, I don't want to say starvation, but the results of this could be absolutely catastrophic. And none of these jadruls are thinking anything about it because of this moron, Lindsey Graham. How can anybody listen to Lindsey Graham? I don't care who you are. He's a nut. I'll talk about anything you want. You want to talk about taxes? You want to talk about redistricting? Fine. You want to talk about immigration? But war with this? And we're doing it. Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. What are we doing? This is Vietnam. I've been saying this since Vietnam. We don't learn. This isn't conservative. President Trump, you're smarter than this. What are you doing? You know what's going on right now. They're going to hang you out to dry. And then when you say, hey, what happened? We say, well, you wanted this. Wait a minute, you were my advisors. Well, maybe we're your advisors, but we did. You let me hang out to dry. Yeah, we did. We let you hang yourself out to dry. Nobody came forward. Nobody. And Lindsey Graham, and what's Jared Kushner's going to do? Jared Kushner made his money. He didn't give a shit about you. Witkoff, they don't care about you. They don't care about you. There's no loyalty. You're going to find out that all these people that you thought were whatever it was, that they sold you a hill of shit, which is what this was. And you're smarter than this. And we know it, and they should know it too. So what am I? What does that make me? Smart. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I cannot believe what's going on. I don't know what to do. Massey's looking good. A lot of people are looking good. I'm telling you right now. This is a whole lot of people. That I would never have been necessarily aligned with, but when it comes to this, 100%. And Anna Kasparian is phenomenal. Terrific. I've learned, now what happens is, remember, when you have this new amalgam of people, like in the cases of you, look, there are people right now. You and I, look at this. Cenk and Nick Fuentes have been spot on for a very long time. Americans finally waking up as with the criminal court is laughable. Not happening as the Arab monarchies are catching on. Do you see what's happening? You were listening to what people are saying. Sparky says Epstein Kushner 28. Well, yeah. You know Kushner's going nowhere, right? Kushner is done, Sparky. You know Kushner's done. He's just done. He's just done. BB's done. Everybody's done. This whole thing, and it has nothing to do with Judaism. Nothing. Stop it. The thing is, time's up right now. Time's up. All of the arguments, all of that, it's over. It's over. And they're going to find big time during midterms and whatever it is. This just makes sense. This makes sense. This is one of those things that I don't care where you're from. I don't care about history. It makes sense. Nobody is for this. Nobody. And you're also going to find out that you have been absolutely sold down the river with Fox News and this crew. Fox News, Breitbart, Gateway Pundit, National Review, though they're kind of weird. This is over with. This is done. You're hanging your future onto this. But what I'm telling you is that we've got people here for the first time, many of you who came on board because you wanted to be a part. You saw, what's going on with this Candace business? What's going on with this? Hey, is Charlie Kirk stuff is good? Candace is good. This is good. This is interesting. And all of a sudden you kind of came on board. And we said, hey, how are you? Have a seat. It was Cassia and Barron and this and Colin and blah, blah. And many of you might, and I might not have met you. Okay. And what's happening is that once we come on board and once we meet, however we meet, whatever the particular reason is, don't forget Christine Feckerty. She's got some really, really hard, and I don't think out of the ballpark, but she's got some very hard anti-Trump stuff. She's really anti-Trump. Okay. That's okay. She's right about this. I'm not saying she's right or wrong or anything. She does not like Trump, doesn't like Melania, whatever. You don't have to. There's no litmus test. It's like, sorry, you got to go. No. Doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. There's so many people, and all of a sudden we're together. Now we say, now what do we do? Okay. How much do we disagree on everything else? Is it just this one thing? Can we work around each other? There are people who are still believing 100% in open borders and things like that. It's like, nope, I ain't going to do that. Sorry, I don't care who you are. I ain't for that. No way. No. War? Nope. So what happens if we agree with one thing but not on something else? What do we do then? Do we just walk away, part company? I don't know. I think we can maybe work around this. There are some things that are really going to have to be done. We got to find out, what do we really believe in here? And the first thing we believe in is that Tyler Robinson is not guilty. And this guy he's a patsy. And I don't know who these people are. I don't know where they are. We'll never find out. Maybe we'll have the Tyler Robinson files. The files. There's no files. Maybe one day we'll find out then. Because the official story that they're giving you is such a load of crap. It is nonsense. It's this ridiculous, nonsensical story. Doesn't make any sense. None of it. He's not guilty. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Hitler. I don't care if it's Mussolini, if it's Ted Bundy, name it. I'm not going to railroad you just because I don't like you. We don't do that. And that may be hard for people to understand, but it's not hard for me to understand in the least. We believe in this. If you're going to get him on something. I'm dying to know what is in that. First thing I'm going to do is let me talk to the medical examiner. What did you find in there? What'd you find? You find any bullets? You find any lead? You find any? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. What'd you find? Plastic? Plastic? There's something to this device going off. Did they not think they were? Who did this? Who did this? Who did this? We still haven't. Peggy says, we still haven't seen the Warren files. I like that. The Warren report. There are no reports. How about the 9/11 files? With Zelikow, what a bunch of shit that was. That was a joke. Where do you want to start? Where do you want to start? I don't know what happened, but the official story didn't happen. Does anybody here really, honest to God, people, well, this is good. Hang on a second. Thank you. Thank you for saying we don't have to kick people out of our circle because they disagree on politics or political figures. We all disagree on something, but the left-right stuff is tearing us apart. Absolutely right. Tony's 100% correct. I'll talk to you about whatever it is. I'll talk to you. I absolutely. What's the one deal breaker? Is there one deal breaker? One thing only? What is it? One deal breaker. Is there one deal breaker? One deal breaker. I'm going to give you one, and I'm going to kill this thing because I'm going to bring up a subject that nobody wants to. Look at this. Lionel, thank you for doing the coach interview. Oh, love it. You know, he did last night. He called me and emailed me. He said, listen, you probably can't do it tomorrow. No, this is like late notice. What I said, I'll do it tomorrow. It's like 10 o'clock or something. I said, I'll do it tomorrow. He's very easy. He's such a delightful dude. Your mic keeps cutting out. Interesting. Do you hear that, by the way? Do you hear mics cutting out? Is that right? Hang on. Let me see something here. Do you, let me see this. I shouldn't be hearing mics cutting out. Are you hearing mics cutting out, my friend? Nope. I don't hear any. I think the mic sounds fine, but thank you. I appreciate that. But thank you, my friend. Thank you. Let me know. But is there a deal breaker? Let me tell you the one that I found out. Abortion. Oh God. Say, we got to talk about abortion. We got to talk about it. I'm not afraid of it. Are you? Does anybody want to talk to about by the way, why do I have to log back in or close a window if I'm sounding fine? Why do I do this? Ms. Cato says, I think not being able to admit when you're wrong. Oh, one thing, not being able to admit you're wrong. You know what's interesting? This is very, very interesting. Let's talk about abortion. Abortion is like, don't talk about it. So you better talk about it. This means a lot to somebody. How can you not talk about it? 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 How? This is the most important thing in the world. So what happened was people were saying there should be a constitutional ban against all abortion. 100% ban against abortion. People were saying this. They really believed it. They believed that there should be a constitutional ban against abortion. No abortions in the United States. And I said, well, if you do this, that is political suicide. But they'll say, doesn't matter. It's what's right. It's like, okay, that's fine. Now, I talked to people about, hang on. Here we go. Letitia, hang on a minute. Letitia says, you are the truth, and I just want to meet you, sir. Mesmerizing man. Look at this. Well, Letitia, you are correct. I am mesmerizing. I'm mesmeric. Now, here's the thing. You want to talk about the morality? You want to talk about politics? You want to talk about politics, or you want to talk about morality? You want to talk about morality? You want to talk about politics? You may believe, for example, that Social Security and entitlement programs are wrong. If you think, well, I'm going to cut them back, you're dead. You will never see the light of day. You will never see office again. So you got to ask yourself, do I say this? If I believe it, if that's what you believe, okay? Now, here's the problem. Roe against Wade was the biggest pile of garbage ever. It was garbage. It was the worst case ever. Not because it dealt with abortion, but because it dealt with something called substantive due process. And people have been screaming about this forever. Forever. It was created out of nothing. It was a law. For example, if there was a law, a Supreme Court hearing that said that the death penalty was correct or incorrect because it's just unfair. And we have this thing called a fairness doctrine. They just create this thing called fairness. Say, what are you talking about? You may agree with the decision, but it's like, no, you just made that up. This is what's difficult for people to understand. You may not like a particular story, whatever it is, you may not like it. You may not like any of this stuff, and that's fine. But you got to ask this question. In 1965, there was a case called Griswold. This is the most important. Griswold against Connecticut. And it was a law that dealt with banning contraception, even among married couples. Contraception, not abortion, contraception. And it was ridiculous. Nobody ever enforced it. It was in Connecticut. It was part of this Knights of Columbus thing, and it was all symbolic. Nobody cared about it. But by God, they wanted to bring it to the Supreme Court. But you can't ban, this. And they said, okay, but look, it's a waste of time. But they had to hear it. So William O. Douglas, who at the time was, I think, might still be the longest serving ever. This guy was as lib as you can imagine, to use your words. He came up with this idea that said, there's something really wrong about that. Let me tell you something. Is there anything unconstitutional about banning contraception? No. Is there anything unconstitutional about banning sodomy in the Constitution? No. Is there anything unconstitutional about banning any law which prohibited minimum ages for marriage? Is that unconstitutional? No. If you want to do that, you can do that. Nothing in the Constitution that says you can't. What? There are very few prohibitions. 13th Amendment, slavery. You got the big Bill of Rights, First Amendment, all that kind of stuff. But no, nothing. So there was this case, Loving against Virginia in 60, whatever, that prohibited anti-miscegenation laws, black and white marriage. They used a different argument, equal protection. But the point is, there's nothing per se. Now, you may think, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. If you want to go to your state capital and ban sodomy, buggery, frottage, undonism, you can do it. Not being America first should be the only deal breaker. Yes. Dang. Look how sweet this is. Look at this. Look how nice this is. Your episode with Coach, and you were one of your episode with Coach, and you are one of my fave YouTubers. Thank you for adding points in my IQ each video. I love that. What an honor. Thank you for saying that. So let me tell you what they did with Griswold. So William O. Douglas said, I think it's just wrong. So I'm going to come up with this thing called privacy. He made it up. There is no privacy anywhere. He made it up. He talked about the penumbra, that there are certain rights that emanate from the penumbra, like the light that emanates from, when you have the world here and then the earth and you have the sun behind it and you see the shadow, that's the penumbra. And that this penumbra, he made this up. And he came up with privacy. And they said, no, you don't make it up. You don't write this. You don't create. No, it's not in there. Nino Scalia, other people talked about it. It's not strict construction. It's originalism. There's no such thing as that. No such thing as that. And that's what they use in Roe against Wade. That was it. Privacy. So what Dobbs did was it just says, if you have a state and you want to prohibit abortion, go ahead. You want to guarantee abortion? Go ahead. Do it state by state by state by state by state. Do it. Do it. Do it. That's it. But if you do ban it, you can't go to the federal government under the Constitution and say you can't do that. Can't do that. I've got no problem with this. The Constitution does not give you the right to make this stuff up. You can't do it. This is America. Let me ask you a question. Okay? Ooh, Amber, were you in law school? Oh, yeah, the penumbra, don't forget. That was William O. Douglas. Very good. See, that's law trained here. There's a couple of things here which are very, very important. There are no guarantees at all in the Constitution. The only thing is, and you would know this, Amber, the only thing is that you're guaranteed to is you cannot deprive somebody of life, liberty, or property without due process. Do you hear what I'm saying? Let me say that again. You cannot deprive somebody of life, liberty, or property. You can put them in prison for the rest of your life. Liberty. You can give them the death penalty. And you can take their property so long as there is due process. Meaning, the only thing they wanted is a procedural right. It's procedural. It's due process. That's all they cared about. Go ahead, take his life. But make sure you give him a hearing. Make sure you give him a hearing. Make sure you give him a hearing. So what this one does is it creates it. You'll know this, Amber. You'll know this. Substantive due process. Remember the slaughterhouse cases? All these weird cases where it created this substantive due process. It's an oxymoron. Due process is procedural. Process means procedure. Substantive and procedure, doesn't make any sense. This may sound arcane, may sound recondite, it may seem, hocus pocus. It's critical. That's all I care about. Whatever you want to do, whatever your thoughts are, whatever you want to do. You want to ban abortion? Let's hash it out. Go ahead. Death penalty. Hash it out. I don't care. But don't make things up. And I know some very good people who believe that it should be banned or whatever. Okay, fine. But you said America first is America first. And I'll be damned if I'm going to have somebody. And by the way, we have got to have people who come to this country. And if you're going to petition and bribe our, what am I trying to say? Our leaders through, APAC or whatever it is, you better register as a foreign agent. Period. End of discussion. Think about that. Imagine, you think in China they'll let me, you think they'll let, try going to China and have some lobby group come in and basically say, listen, well, they don't have the elections the way we have it. But it's ridiculous. It is so blatantly, it's like so obvious. Come on. It's obvious. Mrs. Cato says, having kids made me pro-life. I can pass my beliefs on to my children. I can't force my beliefs on everyone by creating laws to suit my morals. It's called freedom of choice. Their choice, not mine. Absolutely. And I thank you for that. All you've got to do is look at a little baby, a little beautiful baby. Look at that little beautiful baby. And you look at this and you just look at this. Don't give me this stuff about it. Well, I don't know what it is. It's a human being. It's not about, well, it's not able to survive on its own. Old people can't survive on their own. What if somebody's in a coma? What, are you going to kill them too because they can't survive? Stop it. Stop with this bullshit. Stop saying that. But here's the thing. If you're pro-choice, do you want to put somebody in prison who has an abortion? Because if it's pro-life and if it's a human life and you take it, it's murder. And if you do it, then that means anybody who's doing that, up to and including the nurse and the doctor, they should go to prison. It could get out of control, but that'll be part of your argument. It's your thought to do that. It's your right. But according to my party, there's a place for you. And I'm not going to browbeat you. We'll talk about this. You may want to, you know what? If we have a core belief system, you may have some problems with the designation of gender. Okay, is that critical? Is that critical? Seriously, am I going to lose you? Are we going to lose our America First movement because you want to argue about pronouns? Okay, I may think it's bullshit, and so may you, but I mean, seriously, I'm going to say goodbye to you because of that? We'll work it out. We'll figure something out. That's not critical. Nobody's going to go to war over pronouns. This is war. This is absolutely war. And somebody better stand up for Christians. I'm so tired of hearing about Christian churches. Do you see what's going on in the UK? These churches, these beautiful, beautiful churches, medieval churches burning down. Nobody else is being burned down. Nobody cares about them. Another thing, too, is you talk about America First. I'm sorry to say this. I can't believe I'm saying this. We are Americans. And by the way, anybody from other countries, God bless you. I think Cassia would understand. I think, she's in Cyprus with her husband and whatever, and he's Greek and she's Polish, and that's great. And that's groovy. We're Americans over here. We have a language, we have a culture, we have tradition, we have values. When I have a bunch of people coming here who want to completely change that, they want to replace, not augment, not supplement, but change it. Lionel, thank you for saying we the audience matter. That means a lot to hear. It's true. By the way, it's not, people think, hey, I got, how are my numbers? How's your audience? How's your audience? But the numbers, what are the numbers? How are the audience? I love people who don't even, I talk to you. I swear to God, I was watching this guy. I hope you don't take it. This guy, Patrick Bet-David, they starura. It's like he doesn't even care who's late. They talk among themselves. Like, excuse me, what about me? Just watch me. You know you love me. I'm okay. I don't know. I like people who talk to you. Candace talks to you. Ian Carroll talks to you. Coach talks to you. Cassia talks to you. Baron talks to you. They talk to you. Think about it. They talk to you, not these, I talk to you. It may be recorded, but whatever, but I'm talking to you. I'm giving you my idea of what's going on. I'm not just saying something for the hell of it. It's a completely different concept. It's a completely different concept. But I got to tell you something. There's something, America First. Two things that happen. Number one, we have this friend of ours. Brooklyn is like this really weird, not say weird, beautiful place. But I swear to God, but there's some places in Brooklyn, you'll walk in, it looks like an industrial shithole. Not all parts, but some, and the buildings are worth millions. I'm thinking, I don't get it. I don't know. I don't want to live there. I don't want to be there. Look at this. Jay Clark says, ripping body pieces apart sounds harsh, but it's truth. The procedure began as a way to control births of African-American babies. Sick. Love you and Len. Thank you. That was Margaret Sanger. Abortion was good, but Planned Parenthood was. This is Margaret Sanger. This was eugenics. Read what she said. But thank you. But anyway, so this friend of mine, she's a real lefty. I mean, really takes care of cats and just nothing wrong with cats, but I mean, just strange. So she said, I don't like this place anymore. What? I don't know, Williamsburg. I don't know where she lives. Greenpoint, someplace, Brooklyn. I don't know what's going on. I don't like it. I said, well, why now? What's the matter? What? Too many Trumpers? Is that it? Too much Trump? Too much Trump? Because everything blames Trump for everything. No, she says, I walked, there's all these women walking around with veils. I said, excuse me? Veils. I said, excuse me? Veils bother you? They bother you? She says, yeah. I'm walking around, there's people walking around in complete head to toe dripping hijabs, abayas, not burqas, but no eyes. What is this? I thought she's coming around. How about calls to prayer? How about calls to prayer at 5 in the morning? Now, let me tell you what they're doing. Listen to what they're doing. You get these people right now, a lot of people who are saying, we are against, this is what they'll say, we are against war against Iran. We're against what they believe is to be, Israeli influence. And okay, fine. But then they'll say, but don't say anything about Muslims because that's just a cover. That's just a cover for people who really are anti or pro-Israel. And I said, wait a minute. No, it's not either or. You can be both pro, both con, either or. I don't want people in my neighborhood, in my town, taking over. I don't want calls to prayer at 5 in the morning. You can have all the mosques you want. You can have all the temples you want. I don't care about that. That's fine. But this is America. And you're not going to walk around with people head to toe in black. Sorry, can't do it. And this is not my country. This is not it. This is not it. And I don't want you, I don't want to lose this. I don't want to have the texture, the fabric, the heart, the soul of America. I don't want this to be replaced by any place, whether it's Middle Eastern, whether it's Armenian, with all due respect, Middle Eastern, Turkey, African, I don't care what it is. Italian. We have great people in this country who supplement. If you came to New York, I could take you to some places you wouldn't believe it. We can go to Brooklyn, to Brighton Beach, Little Odessa. You'll swear to God. It's just an enclave. They're not taking over. But if you want borscht and Ukrainian food and this and that, it's beautiful. It's like an enclave. It's a neighborhood. But they're not taking over. They're not saying, okay, we're passing laws that you can't speak English. No. We'll go to the different Chinatowns. I'll take you to Flushing, Queens. You'll think you're in Beijing. Take you to Little Korea, which is wonderful. Take you to Astoria, where the Greeks are. Little Brazil, where the Peruvians, name it. But they assimilate. Chinatown's the best. You go to Chinatown, which is Little Italy downtown. They've got members on the city council. They've got their own little community boards, but they are not taking over. It's a different. And E. Rumpel says, in light of the coach interview, I work on a cruise ship. Will you interview me? Just kidding about the interview. You were magnificent, sir. Cruise ship. How about that hantavirus? You know what they're setting up with that one, my friend. You know exactly what's happening with that, don't you? Can't you see it? Come on. Can't you see it? All of a sudden, hantavirus. Hantavirus has been around forever, but they're setting us up. They're setting us up. Can't you see it? Come on. You thought that was over now, didn't you? You thought that was over now, didn't you? Well, it's not. Don't throw your masks away, because people love that. Do you know, when I still see people wearing a mask, I go berserk. It's like, what is the matter with you? They love this. Face diapers. Now, believe it or not, sometimes, believe it or not, in the cold, when you're in New York, or any place for that matter, sometimes it's actually can kind of warm your face. That's okay. But some people, look at this. My uncle was captain of the USS Liberty. They controlled the president back then too. The USS Liberty. Why do we have such a hard time with explaining what happened? That's history. I don't understand it. Why? What about history do you have a problem with? You know why? It's those sellouts. It's those Lindsey Grahams. That's the guy. Oh my God. He just, absolutely. My friends, we have, going back to what I'm saying, it's our core. We're our group here. And you can come into our tent, and it's okay. Have a seat. As long as we agree on core basics. America first. I know that sounds, they say, well, it sounds like Charles Lindbergh. So what? So what? I'm not going to destroy the Constitution. I'm not going to do that. I'm never against immigration. Never. I'm not against allies. If there is something that is, I mean, I don't know about you, but I could see myself advocating not military intervention, but assistance. If somebody were, I'll give you a perfect example. Perfect example. In 2005, maybe 2005, I was doing a commentary for a TV show. That's where I got the Emmy for. Oh, Sparky's back. Sparky says, "What about ringing church bells? Whatever happened to those? A call to prayer of sorts? As kids, we rarely went to church, but when we did, we went early so we could pull the rope on it to ring the bell." No. A ringing of the bell is one thing where somebody goes, ding, ding. What time, Sparky, are the news? Well, are the masses or the churches? 9 o'clock? It's before 5 a.m. with loudspeakers. What? Hail Mary, full of grace. No. Our Father who art. No. Pater noster, quis in caeli, sanctificator nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tua, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in caelo et in terra, panem nostrum quotidianum, da nobis hodie. No. No. Loudspeakers, 5 a.m? No. No. Having a ring. How long do church bells ring? To a ding, ding. That's it. Not at 5 a.m, not at loudspeakers. There were cases years ago the Supreme Court dealt with people who run around the city with loudspeakers, people running for office. Hey, you should see have you ever seen the mitzvah tanks? Have you ever seen them? The mitzvah tanks? A mitzvah tank. These are either the Lubavitchers, not the Orthodox, but the Lubavitchers, and they have these Winnebagos, and they have loud. It's not that bad, but I mean, but it can be loud. Sometimes they're just too loud, and they will go around and they'll go up to people and say, "You Jewish? You Jewish?" I say, "No, I'm not Jewish," but they'll come up and they'll try to pull people in, and they are disciples of the Rebbe Schneerson, and okay, they don't really bother anybody, but sometimes it can be a little loud and they have noise concern. I've got no problem with that. What about people coming to your house and knocking on the door? The Watchtower, what's that? Christian, not Christian Scientists, Jehovah's Witnesses. Did that bother you? Ringing of the bells was to chase the demons away. Could be. But church bells are just I'm sorry. Let me tell you something. You know what I got to go through? You're going to love this one. On the west side, we have all the docks here. And I hear that, all the ships. And then when Disney comes in, I hear that, when you wish, I think when you wish upon a star, It's a Small World or something. In horns, in the morning, 5 o'clock, whatever. It's not that often. Listen. A little noise that's the problem, but every day at 5 o'clock? No. But the point is, when you've got Rashida Tlaib, notice how she's gone. Ayanna Pressley, she's gone. You know who's coming around? AOC. She's changing her tune. And we have Ilhan Omar, who married her brother. This one, who made all that money. Oh, they're going to go after her. Let's see what happens with her Leering Center. These people they're so phony baloney. They're going after the mafia. Doesn't work like this. How dare you do that? Come to all right, just say this stuff about it. Say you should kiss our arse for letting you in. Rumble Gold says catching the Hantabear on a ship is insulting to the cruise industry. We work too hard to keep the ship clean for this to happen. I call bullshit. You know what? I do too. There's always been the chance for this. Can I tell you a story? By the way, I'm not a big cruise person, but that's okay. I appreciate it. You can go on a cruise. It's a big industry. And When I was in, Mrs. Ellen and I were on something, and one time I walked up and said, "Hi, how are you?" We give your name and you check in. He goes, "Do you have diarrhea?" I said, "What? Excuse me? Do you or anybody in your party have diarrhea?" I said, "I don't know if anybody's got diarrhea. Why are you asking?" He says, "There's a spell of norovirus." And they were worried about that because that can go through a ship, as you know, like that. Not deadly, but serious enough. They said, "Well, what do you do?" He said, "Well, if you suspect that somebody in your party has diarrhea, let us know." I said, "How would I know if they have diarrhea?" Seriously. He said, "Well, you might." I said, "What?" So I was thinking, if I didn't like somebody in my party, I could say, "Excuse me, can I talk to you? Is the captain?" "Yeah, Captain, listen, you don't know me, but I got a guy in my party." "Yeah." We were in the men's room, and he sounded a little loose. You know what I mean? You might want to not. I can understand that to an extent, but they're trying to kill the cruise industry. What they're trying to do and what they will do to the airline industry. They don't want you traveling. This is Agenda 21, Agenda 2030. This is the idea of moving you in and keeping here. They don't want you traveling. They want to kill this. Stay here. That's why autonomous vehicles will shut down your ability to drive. Say no to autonomous vehicles. You want to have override. Always, always. You want to have a key, not a fob. You don't want somebody to shut down your car, and they're going to do it. They're going to tell you, we don't want you driving. And they shut down everything. You think in New York, we have congestion pricing, $9. You go out, you take a right, boom, $9 for the day. In addition to the $20, whatever, to come into the tunnels. I mean, it's a joke. They don't want you traveling. They want to limit your ability to move. This is one of their parts of their agenda. You have to say no to this. No. They want you slowing down. They also want to be able to tell you, they want to know where you're going and why are you going out late at night, and why we notice you go to a lot of liquor stores and bars, and it's weird. And you know what? I don't know if we should be able to grant you insurance anymore because I don't know. You're giving up all of this. Do any of you have one of those Alexas at your home? I couldn't believe this. "Alexa, please," excuse me. This is keeping track of what you're saying? Yeah, but okay. We're losing our fear. That's part of my agenda. That's part of the Lionel Nation. We're very aware of it. And we're also, which is very, very, very important, which is very, very critical. We are, and I mean to tell you something, we are, for reasons I do not understand, we are becoming more and more susceptible to AI. Oh, one more thing. I want to ask you a big favor because I love you. My beloved my wife, it's funny, interesting. She has Lynn's Warriors. This is the link. If you have not signed up, somebody's going after her. I don't know what it is because she is so pro family, so pro children, and she's going after big tech like you cannot believe because of what they're doing to kids. All of a sudden, they're going after her subscriptions on her channel, Lynn's Warriors. Please just subscribe. She works so hard. Next week, I can't tell you everything she's doing, but she's working out. She's going to be in Washington dealing with these family members. She works this 24 hours a day. She's fighting everybody. And some of these people, this guy, David Sachs, the worst. Zuckerberg, the worst. And AI, Altman, others, oh my God. Did you see where there's a Korean monk ordained an AI robot? You understand that? One more time. I love her to death. Please, it would mean so much to me. She says, why I'm not doing anything. She never curses, never cusses, nothing. And they give her grief because of me. And I'm saying she has nothing to do with me. Call me up. Did you hear what he's saying about whatever? It's like that. Tell me. Don't go after her. I don't know what you're upset with me about. What do I care? Sonny, the meanness, the Laura Loomers, it's psychotic. It's a vile hatred. It's this demented focus. It's like these stalkers who have this no holds barred lunacy. It is scary, dear God. It is scary. I'm telling you, we have got to do something about this. We have got to figure out a way to deal with this. I'm changing the subject a little bit. I don't want to say this because sometimes when people say it, it makes people very, it makes people nervous, and I don't want to make anybody nervous. Okay? But I think you and I think it's safe to say we absolutely love Candace. Okay? I think she's our friend. Oh, and by the way, I don't want to let too much out of the bag, but I am in communication with her, and I will keep you posted. But sometime, not this month, but June, she's very busy. We are in communication. I will let you know. That will be the barn burner of barn burners, because I have such a respect for her. And she said something to me, which is the most important, and you do too. She said that I remind her of her grandfather. You don't understand. I've got these friends of mine who say they're fighting. It's like, what is the matter with you? This is our age. We worked for it. I've got no. How do you think I know what I know? You can't know what you know unless you've been. Well, they call it aggressive. Come on, in August. I'll be 68. It's a noble age. Well, don't call me grandma. What? That's the honor. Did you ever hear the Judds, Grandpa? Tell me about the good old days. Oh my God, it's the most beautiful song. It's the greatest. Have you ever heard the song "He Walked on Water"? Randy Travis, about the grandfather. And so anyway, so she said that I reminded her of that I was there's a kind of, because nobody doesn't like, for the most part, their grandfather. Anyway, so I thought, you're sold. Well, I guess you're my granddaughter, and I've got an affinity and a sense of protective. I'm very protective by nature, almost to the point of being rabid. So what I'm trying to say is, without saying it, I want this Laura Loomer to do me a favor. Cut this shit out, okay? Because this stuff gets out of hand. There's a lot of sickos out there who, when you keep saying this stuff, and you keep saying this stuff, and the things she has said, the C word, she hasn't used the N word, but she's come as close to it. I've never seen anything like it. It's demented. See, most of us have, as you know, this circuit breaker. Like, you'll get mad, we'll get mad, they'll get mad, but it doesn't go beyond that. For the most part, it doesn't go beyond that. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't go beyond it. I never lose my temper. Never. I never get to the point where, if I want to get you don't want to see me when I'm quiet, because then it's like, now I'm committed to this. But I never lose my temper. Never get into fights. Never physical. So no. Because it's called maturity and rationality, and I'm normal. But Laura Loomer doesn't have that. She has that circuit breaker, that valve is shut off. And a lot of people who are doing this, more and more of these creeps, these criminal people. So what I'm saying is, when Loomer goes on and keeps talking about Candace, it inspires some very sick people out there. And I don't like that. And I can't tell somebody you can't say something, but I hope that all of us are very cognizant of the fact that we have a lot of sick people out there very, very sick people, and some people who are really, really, really in need of extra close watch, because we are becoming so immune to violence. We're becoming so, it's called habituation. We are habituated to violence. We are becoming more and more used to it. You see, what social media does is very interesting. Rather than make us sensitive to something, it doesn't work that way. It makes us, it habituates. Habituation is very interesting. When you have a stimulus that hits you all the time, a stimulus, and it's, for example, you wear a watch, you get a piece of jewelry, something that's heavy or clunky. At first you notice it, then you don't. And the reason why is when stimuli become not novel, your body, your brain habituates. It says, we're not going to spend the rest of our day worrying about this watch, because you won't be able to hear that car, those screeching tires careening out of here, or the sound of your baby crying, or the sound of, we habituate to it. We're conditioned. We become used to something. We're becoming, at that point, kind of like that when it comes to violence and the discussions of violence and all this other kind of stuff. It's a very, very, very scary thing. And I know she's careful, and I know we have to be very careful for her. These people are very ill. And I have seen this professionally. I've seen this personally. I've seen this with friends. Men, maybe ladies, you do too. Men, have you ever had a stalker? Now, a stalker is a different story. That's a Yiddish term for that's a comedian who's like a real killer, like a great, Have you ever had a stalker? And they're kind of new. When I prosecuted, we didn't have stalking statute because there was no such thing as that. I mean, people say, well, you have the right to go. Yeah, but you can't bother anybody. You can't bother anybody? You mean, well, if you come out and there's somebody across the street waving at you, creeping you out, they have a right to travel. Well, that's the way they thought then. That guy Bardo, remember the one who killed my sister Sam, or whatever the one is? By the way, Marcia Clark prosecuted that. That started to change all this. And then stalking, anti-stalking statutes came about where you're pestered, it changed. And with that, and with the reporting of more of this, came more instances of stalking. And if you've ever had this before, you don't know what to do. One of the greatest movies ever is Fatal Attraction. And everybody, especially young men who are wanting to get married, better understand something. You better hang up your dancing shoes. And if you think you're going to go out and still chase the ladies when you're married, it's over with. Now, unless you and your wife have some crazy idea or some agreement, which most people don't, where you can go ahead and do this, fine. But that doesn't happen. That does not happen. So you got to be careful. And especially when you meet some woman who says, you promised me you love me. And you say, yeah, but you told me you were going to leave your wife. You told me that you weren't in love with her. I counted on that. This is called, by the way, in law, justifiable, Amber, justifiable reliance, estoppel. You know what I mean? That's what that movie's about. I will not be ignored, Dan. Glenn Close was phenomenal. And you see this person and you say, what am I going to do? The rabbit. And then his wife does this thing. And she's in the, what do you do with these people? What do you do? Did you ever see Crimes and Misdemeanors? Oh, Jerry Orbach, Martin Landau. By the way, Jerry Orbach lived in our neighborhood. He saw him all the time. He was Crazy Joey Gallo's friend. But remember where Martin Landau it was Angelica Houston. And she would call up his house and then hang up. And she says, you were going to leave your wife. Oh, it's fantastic. Hit the Hit the, for our favorite well-spoken and diverse grandpa. That's right. Hit the thumbs up. Yes, thank you. I couldn't tell if that was a flame or whatever it was. Thank you. You're a wonderful person for this. Me and Mrs. Jones, by the way, that's a different story. That's not Major Harris. That's no, me and Mrs. Jones was Billy, no, me and Mrs. Jones, that was that was good. We had a thing going on. Do-do-do-do. Anyway, so in Crimes and Misdemeanors, he talks to his brother, Blackie or something, who was Jerry Orbach. And he's like a criminal. And he said, listen, I got a problem. He says, I'll make it go away. And there's a question of, it's great. Alan Alda, Woody Allen. It's one of the best Woody Allen movies ever. So the question is become later on, he goes through this incredible shame and his brother basically takes Angelica Houston and he goes to her apartment after she's dispatched. So the question is, if you could do that and get away with it to prevent your marriage and your family from being broken up, even if you started it, even if you were wrong in doing that, you defiled your marital vows, you did this. And then later on you meet some nut and she gets crazy. So what you do is you take care of that. Would you do this? And I one time was in a group, I said, damn right I would. If I can get away with it, sure. They looked at me like, well, you shouldn't be doing this. I didn't say it. You asked me a question. To do it? Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry that you and your sweet wife are living the Candace George experience. It must be hard. It's crazy considering everyone should unite and fight for truth. That we are living the Candace George experience. I thank you for that. I don't think we're living. I'm honored. I think it's a very good thing. I feel sorry for George. They're busting George's balls about everything. I don't know anything about his past, but they showed a picture of something. Somebody said, that's not him. Now, let me tell you something. If this ain't malice, Candace, reckless disregard for the truth, if this ain't malice, I don't know what is. I mean, I don't know what you're going to get a blood out of a turnip with Candace, with Loomer. But anyway, let me talk about Laura Loomer for a moment too. You don't mind? I'm going to tell you. This is what's going to happen. First, number one, somebody's going to get to Trump. I think Susie Wiles. Eventually, Susie Wiles gets to the point. And they're going to say, Mr. President, you've got to officially cut ties with Laura Loomer. I'm not, no. You're not hearing what I'm saying. Because Laura Loomer is claiming that, I don't know if she said it, but she's intimated, so they say. And people are saying maybe that's the blackmail. You can't blackmail Trump. Trump's got more. Everybody tried to do that. Remember Dusty Saddles or Stormy Daniels, whatever her name was? He doesn't care. It means nothing to him. He's bulletproof, so to speak. Bad choice of words. Okay. So somebody's going to go to her and say, we officially do hereby abnegate, renounce, disconnect, untether ourselves from any association with Laura Loomer. Period. She doesn't work for me. She's not an advisor. She doesn't have a number. She's not welcome in the White House. That's it. We do not, a formal, complete and total, she'll go batshit crazy. That's number one. Number two, TPUSA is not necessarily taking any connection, but they should say, just to play it safe, she doesn't work for us. That's two. Number three, Ben Shapiro, that guy. Notice Ben's going to be kind of sort of, because Ben's not stupid. Laura Loomer's she has no circuit breaker. And finally, the good people, and there are many, many people who are of Israel, very good people. I don't know if you know any. I know some. And if you've ever visited or anything like that, I know you don't want to. That is okay. But this is a Christian. If you're a Christian, Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the Via Dolorosa, where Christ walked, This was Bethlehem, baby. This is it. So before you before you say, understand the significance of it, they have to say, she doesn't work for us. We renounce, abnegate. She doesn't. Now, so she was Trump, Israel, TPUSA, everybody. Is she married? They say she's married. Okay, fine. You're going to see the kind of like the Tasmanian devil. She's going to go nuts. That's when she gets real dangerous. That's what she's got. Did you see these videos that are out? If they're her, one is did you see the one with the tattoo? Who saw that one? Who saw that? Oh, she's engaged, her husband. I don't know what she is. I don't want her any harm. I want her to be happy and calm down. Maybe that's why she's like this. Maybe she needs to, slow down a little bit. But the tattoo, did you see the tattoo video? What was that about? And then one was some poor guy in some bar or something. I like you. Okay, lady, leave me alone. This is not right. This is not right. This is a predatory kind of a weird kind of fixation. This reminds me of like Harvey Weinstein when this one woman recorded him and he's like, please, let me look at it. It's like, oh my God, Harvey, this was wild. So that's when that happens and she's got nobody. Nobody. And there's something that happens. Do you remember? You're probably not old enough. But there was a time when we had platform shoes, like in the 70s during that. I never really got it. Mrs. L was big in the disco. Big. The ball, all this stuff. But but they had platform shoes and, that kind of thing. And then there were bell bottoms. You remember? One day, bell bottom just said, eh. And they said, eh. And I had bell bottoms. Everybody had bell bottoms. One day they said, eh. What do you mean? I don't know if it was a Tuesday, if it was a Wednesday, what day it was, but one day they said, that's it. Laura Loomer finds out one day she wakes up and says, you know what? You're not interesting anymore. People want to see you like they do a train wreck. It's like remember Faces of Death? Did you ever see those? A lot of them were fake, but people were just, wow. That's what she was. She's like watching a bad car accident. You were intrigued by her. You were intrigued by the anger, by the ability for her to just, you just like, where is this going? It's like sometimes we watch it. Oh, I got to tell you something. Murder pictures fascinated me. I don't like them, but it's like, you don't see this too often. It's fascinating. I'm able to detach myself from it. She's kind of like a murder scene. You don't want it to happen, but so that's that group. Ben Shapiro's another one too. How did anybody look at him and say, Ben, you're doing a great job. Ben, you're warm. People like you. When they see it, they go, oh, Ben, isn't he great? They love you. Nobody. You are incapable of saying anything without snide. You're making fun of our Candace over the way she pronounces words? You're kidding me. Have you sunk that low? Do you know what you're doing? Do you know what you're doing? You see, Ben, you got to understand something. We love her. And I don't mean that in any kind of weird way, but I'm saying we respect her, but we love her like people she's taking. We're behind her 100%. 100%. Whatever we can do. Now, you remember, when you piss her off, you're pissing off a lot of us, more than you will ever realize. And you're doing this for reasons I don't even know why. You think it's a good idea. You think that somehow you're going to talk us out of it. Now, what you should have done a long time ago is if you don't like Candace, just say that she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's full of shit, whatever it is. That's one thing. But you're mean to her. You're being mean. And when you and I was saying today, either to coach or to Cassia. I don't know. Remember when even Trump put that picture of her out where she had that either the mold or whatever. It's like, what is this picture? It looked like an Aunt Jemima, like a field hands. Like, what is this? What is this up close and the blotches? And I said, oh my God. I knew exactly what they were trying to do. I knew exactly. I said, you bastards, you. Here comes Sparky. Sparky says, Muslims protected the Church of the Holy Sepulchre for centuries. Israel just as soon bulldoze it. You're right about that. You're right about that. Remember this. And also the desecration, Sparky, again, of the Virgin Mother and Christ. Oh, man. So anyway, thank you, though. So what happened? So all of a sudden, there's this picture of Candace. So Candace comes out. You talk about being deft, adept, adroit. She came out and she says, I want to tell you about that picture. I go, oh no, she's going to talk about oh God. She says, no, I'm going to tell you about it. I was living in a very luxury apartment. I don't know where, maybe New York yet. I don't know. And I guess it was mold or something. And I realized it was in such pain. And I realized that my skin, I was at the depth. I was at the lowest form. My illness, almost wanted to cry. She spun it. Remember Admiral Stockdale? Stockdale, remember him? He was what's his name? The guy, Ross Perot's running mate, Medal of Honor recipient. And he was like, what? Huh? He goes, where am I? So Dennis Miller, one of the, I'm not a big Dennis Miller fan, but Dennis Miller came out and says, do you know why Admiral Stockdale, whatever, couldn't hear? Because he was a POW and they beat him senseless. And he was the highest ranking officer. And they said, you can go. And he says, no, I don't go before my men go. So yeah, he can't hear because they beat him senseless and he suffered permanent brain. I was like, oh God, did I make fun of him? That's what Candace did. She flipped it. It was a terrible time. I had a mold. I don't forget what it was, but she said, yeah. Because I felt, how you feel now, Laura? Feel good about this? Feel proud of yourself? Huh? This woman's making me cry about some mold outbreak and you're laughing at her? Let's see how you look. And by the way, look at this. They throw lemons at her. She makes lemonade. Oh, absolutely. And by the way, another thing too is, Laura, and I don't want to bring this up, the last thing in the world you should ever talk about is how people look. That's all I'm going to tell you. This is a woman who, by the way, she was Christian. Now she's Jewish and they should look like this. I didn't even, you know what's so bad? And I'm going to say this. Do you know, and I'm not trying to be mean here, but with Laura Loomer, you can see a picture you can't tell if it's AI or not. So I said, this is terrible. They said, no, that's her picture. That's her picture? I thought they were doing it. I thought somebody was. So the last thing in the world you should be talking about is how somebody looks. But then nappy head, what are you, Don Imus? And then the C word, oh my God. Out of control. Out of control. So what you've done is you've also realized that nobody will get near you because of the fact that you're so vile. Davis Kenneth says they can't hurt or cancel Candace. And even if George has 5 DUIs and a gun charge, people still want to know who killed Charlie. It's bigger than Candace. Absolutely. Absolutely. And how about this? How about the State Farm proprietary? By the way, thank you. How about the State Farm proprietary, that particular platform that was used or utilized by somebody, certainly against their rules? This is doxing. This. I'm sure this is at least 20 different federal charges, federal of them, because I'm sure there were maybe wire transfers or wire violations. Oh, this is absolutely. It's like, are you serious? All you had to do was just ignore. And these other twits from TPUSA, the Mikeys and the Colvetts and the this one and the that, How about this this Bednars? What's this about? I was watching Danks. Now Danks, a new one. I got a list. I can't watch all these. There's so many good ones. Jimmy Dore. Everybody's. I mean, it's like, what are you doing? Don't go off on her. Ignore her. Make her sound irrelevant or ill-informed or anything. I don't understand it. Don't you understand? This woman, they'll go to war for her. And I don't know what it is. Now you can say, for example, well, it's because she's sincere. There are sincere people. I don't know if I'm sincere. I hope you think I am. Well, she's brave. There are some brave people. Well, I don't know what it is. It's this combination of things. It's the macaroni and cheese thing. I think macaroni and cheese is probably the greatest thing. Anything kids love. You want to know what tastes good to humans? Look what kids love. Hot dogs, pizza, hamburgers, ice cream, and macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese, I love it. It's what's not to love. It's perfect. Why? I don't know why. I don't know. Is it the macaroni? Yes. Is it the cheese? Yes. But there's an alchemy that happens. There's something biochemical, transcendental. I don't know what it is. Gustatorially, it's like you're in another world. It's a perfect. That's what Candace is. She's macaroni and cheese. I don't know why. There's something just like, yeah, okay. And I'll let you figure it out. You can't explain why she and not others. Why did she? What was it? During the Macron, Brigitte Macron, I mean, she was popular. People thought this is very good. Because they, of course, stupidly went after her. I was like, I don't understand it, But why you would have to worry about somebody? It's just a dumb. Anyway. But that she didn't have this unfettered, unencumbered, unyielding, unequivocal love on the part of people like this thing with Charlie. That set it off into another stratosphere, another world, another stratosphere. Unbelievable. It was bigger than anything I've ever seen. It was enormous. It was ginormous. I don't know why. You can argue. It's like, why were the Beatles so important? I don't know. Were they really that good? Maybe. It doesn't matter. It happened. It just happened. Macaroni and cheese. Just the way it is. That's what she is. And these people don't understand it. And they're coming after you. And remember what they did. We brought us together. You and I may have never met in any other walk of life. You may have never found my channel. I might not have known you. We might not have met. Who knows? And you know what? Because we so solidly believe in something, and we share other things too, America first, that I might say, you know what? I might hear your opinion about something maybe I don't agree with, but you know what? Anybody who thinks my way regarding this can't be all that bad. So you know what? I'm with you. I'm with you. I like that. I'll hear you out. Go ahead. Serious. Absolutely. It's weird. It's an alchemy. Can you think of any other time when there was a topic where you thought, hey, I'm interested in, Trump or maybe OJ. Oh, this is before OJ. But I'm saying, no. Where you weigh into a group like, I found this group. There's this guy on Patrick Bet David. I don't know what the big deal is. Anyway, but I'm funny about this. And I don't like anybody. Just nobody. For me to like Candace, nobody. I'm always like, well, they're they're okay. They're good, but by the way, Candace and her derivative group of people as well, the people who she's inspired, Coach and others as well, and Barron and Cassia and others. It's fantastic. They're great. So because of her, it's weird. I don't know anymore. I don't want to explain anymore. I've gone too far. All I know is this is different, bigger than anything. Remember that one day all of a sudden, she's not on. She's not on. This is the only time, you don't remember this probably. The last time we had any kind of appointment TV or whatever was The Sopranos. The Sopranos. The Sopranos. I don't even know when they went off the air. Let's see. When did they go off the air? Sopranos off the air. They went off the air in 2007. June 10th, 2007. 19 years ago. 19 years ago. That was the last time we had appointment TV. Sunday nights. It was the last time. So every day in the afternoon, I'm watching this thing, and I want to catch it live. I don't want to catch Candace later. I want to catch it there. I want to catch the excitement. I want to catch people who are, ready for this and who are waiting for this, and they're talking, and it's incredible. By the way, 2 stories. Do you know that the Sopranos, more people watch The Sopranos now than when it came out? And the reason why is because young people in particular, Gen Zers, are saying, did they really say that? Yeah. The N-word? Yeah. They're gangsters. Wow, that's violent. I know they're gangsters. This is pretty good because today it's all watered down. And also, do you know what's another big story that Gen Zers love? Friends. I remember Cassia was saying today that she learned English by watching Friends and reading the subtitles. Friends, because people today, these Gen Zers are so detached, so withdrawn, so polarized, so absent from the world that they're asking themselves, did people really, is this what friends are like? Yeah. So they were friends because they don't have friends anymore. I don't even know if Gen Zers, I don't know if they even dance. I don't know if they date. I don't know if they've ever written a love letter. A love letter. They don't even know what that means. Do they know how to romance, how to court? Did somebody meet their fancy? Were they ever pitch and woo? All of this stuff that we took for granted. Remember when you were a kid in school and it was Valentine's Day and those little candies, they had this thing, it's like, I can't read this. It's blue. It was some little thing stamped on it, but you would give it to somebody. Even then, as a kid, you realize you're a boy, she's a girl. I like her. And you didn't even know what it was, which was great. Remember the time when you were a kid and you realized, hey, these girls there's something different about them. Aha! It's kicking in. Kicking in. Here come the hormones. Here it goes. Hormones are great. They make you crazy. They don't have that anymore. These people are walking around. They can't even make eye contact. They can't write. They don't have a signature. They don't have a handshake. They're nothing. They're walking around in pajamas and slides and it's sad. COVID did that. COVID. Candy hearts. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this expert over here. Look at this. You love this guy. Where is this son of a bitch? Come here. Look at it. Candy hearts, commonly known as conversation hearts or sweethearts, are iconic pastel-colored sugar candies featuring short romantic messages stamped on them. Thank you, Mr. Cut and Paste. That's exactly what they were. Remember when I've never been into candy. Never. But as a kid, Red Hots, Jawbreakers, it was like fun. Even the candy was like fun. I don't want to be Mr. Nostalgia all the time. I'm doing this nostalgia. But isn't it true? Remember when you were a kid? Remember when it was like sort of fun? Halloween is like, well, these are pretty good. Not a bunch of peeps, and they were candy with sugar, not this. One time I had a Cadbury egg. I said, what the hell is this? I don't even know what this thing is. You ever eat the candy today and say, what is this? It leaves this aftertaste. It's not even, I don't even know what this is. It's synthetic something or other. Have you ever gone to real candy store, an old fashioned, they had one in Denver. Oh, this guy, the guy had a hat, like a barbershop mustache. They had barrels of I like, I still like candy canes and peppermint and all that kind of stuff. You know those balls? They're like they're red and white striped. They come in a bag. They're made in some. You can only eat them, and they're like very. There's not they're like hard cotton candy. Oh my god! I don't know what it does. Reese's peanut butter cups. When I grew up as a kid, freeze them, frozen. Oh dear God! When it was real sugar. We have, I'm sure you've seen it. We have a Mexican joint around here where they're very expensive, but real Mexican Coke with sugar cane, not this corn syrup. Completely different. Sugar is not as bad as people say it is. I'm sorry. This shit, I don't know what it is. This is all GMO stuff. There was a time when it was really, when Whitman samplers were real chocolate, not this. I don't know what this stuff was. It actually went bad. It was different. And it was like, this isn't bad. This is not bad. Frozen Snickers, candy buttons, Weathers. Cursive writing is obsolete. I'm sorry to say that's true. You understand this? This is absolutely true. Taffy, saltwater taffy on the Jersey Shore. They have those machines that I can watch them forever that just go around. And you know those commercials. Do you ever see these YouTubes where they take the hot melted sugar and they pour it out onto this cold aluminum table with the borders, and they scoop it up and then they put it on the machine and they chop it and they'll take a strip of red and a strip of white, and there's this big thing. It's like a log like this, and they will eventually turn them into. First of all, this ASMR is beautiful to watch that, but there was something about that. And even today, candy is nothing. Look at the Wizard Mom. I like that name. Welcome. She's a brand new member. I wish I had popsicles. Yes. Dreamsicles, popsicles. Remember when you were a kid and you heard the guy in your neighborhood, he wasn't some perv or selling drugs, but it was the ice cream truck where they had like the snow cones, not snow cone, but the thing with a little gumball at the bottom. And then they would have these tasty, I still love these places. Sometimes there's one place in Jersey where you would go, if we were at the beach or coming back or whatever it was, you would stop and they would have the curly things. It was just, and then they would dip them in what kid does? If a kid likes it, there's something inherently good. I know you're not supposed to give them kids, but there's something good, especially when it was banana splits. Did you ever have, there's one place in New York that has, I think it's the Last Mohicans, where they have an actual fountain Coke, where they have the guy who pumps the syrup, puts the seltzer. There's a seltzer company in Brooklyn where you give them the old, remember the seltzer bottles? You always spray people. But you haven't lived till you have a fountain Coke. A fountain. No, people don't even know what I'm talking about. But a real old, this was before my time, but there's a couple of places that still have it. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. There's something about it. A sundae in New York, there's a thing called an egg cream. There's no egg. I don't know, it's chocolate, it's seltzer, and I don't know where the egg comes from, but there are certain things, but an egg cream. These are things that are, your past is what locks you in. It gives you perspective. It's your tradition. It's all it means. It's just tradition. It's not that it's that important, but you remember something. When there was something that was different. There was something that was special. And you didn't realize it at the time. You never looked at this when you're having, a a chocolate, a banana split, and you would think one day I'm going to really miss this. And that, with a soda jerk, all those things. Remember, I'm not going to apologize for being nostalgic, because the thing is, it's not so much that I want to go back and I have a banana split. That's not it. There was a time then. Not only was it simpler, but it made sense, and things were we were just better. We were better. And I'm sure every generation has always said the same thing about what's going on. Probably say, when I was a kid, I'm sure they did in the 1800s. And I know that. I know it. And you're going to be saying it to your kids, and your kids are going to be saying about it. I got it. The music was better and all that. But it doesn't mean you're living in the past. It means you appreciate certain things. That's all. We remember a magazine store, a newsstand. When you walked in, the smell of newspaper. They called them candy stores here, but there was a place called Universal News or something. It was on 8th Avenue. We walked in, and the smell of newspaper, magazines, I loved that smell. I love the smell of tire stores. I love the smell of this Carnegie Deli. There's certain smells I will never forget as long as I live. I just remember these smells. Just when I grew up in Ybor City, they had this place, Bustelo, this coffee company. They would roast the Cuban coffee beans. The entire place smelled like that. Sparky says, if cursive writing is obsolete, cursive reading shouldn't be. What happens if someone needs to research old documents? Absolutely. Absolutely. Remember when you could see, thank you, by the way, Sparky. Remember when you found pictures of yourself or something you wrote as a kid, and you say, look, it had the kids writing. You know what I mean? Do you ever remember when girls had girly writing? You say, this is a girl. Remember that? They had very, very beautiful. That's non-existent. People don't write anymore. I also don't know how to hold a pen. Do you ever see this? It's like, what are you doing? Remember the Palmer method? I don't want to go on. I'm sorry. I lost myself. Thank you. One more time. Follow Lynn's Warriors. This is her link. Sign up. Sign up. She gets very, not depressed, but she says, why am I losing? Why can't I? I said, because of your subject matter. Because they don't want you to be, you're warning people that big tech is killing the imagination and the souls and the spirit of kids. It's like, but she's fighting on. So please, it means enough. It would be so terrific to thank her for that. And to follow her at Lynn's Warriors. That's all. That's all. And by the way, good news also, my friends. Yours truly, I'm saying not truly, because you're part of we are coming up on 400,000. I'm at 397,848. 397. It's like, come on, let's go. It's a big number. Nice 400,000. That's nice. I appreciate that. So if you are not subscribed, please, it means a lot. Just do it, because for some reason, as you know, you could be, Jesus Christ could have a YouTube channel, but if the numbers are lousy, they say, well, the numbers mean something. Candace is looking at 6 million. 6. It's incredible. It's incredible. And we're going to do everything we can to help her out with that. So anyway, my friends, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mother's Day coming up. Make sure you call your mother. Make sure you remember your mothers. I would do anything right now to be able to talk to my mother. Anything. I mean, I do, but So when and let me tell you something, if they are alive right now, and they can be sometimes a royal pain in the ass, it. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes. And sometimes you say, well, I'll call them later. There will come a day when you will say to yourself, why didn't I do this? Your mother and you are one. You formed in her. She has you in her. You're not. There's nobody on this planet. You are together. You are one. You were like a parasite in her. She carried you. She shared. My God, the genetics, it's like, it's cosmic. And that's why a mother will never, ever, ever, most will never let you down. Sparky says, Dad was a soldier. Oh, look at this at Jacob's Pharmacy. The first soda fountain to serve Coca-Cola. His boss, Dr. Jacob, always doctor, an elderly man, apprenticed under Crawford Long, the father of anesthesia. Wow. And where was that city, sir? That is something. Let me tell you something. Look at this. Lionel in chat. First mom's day without her. I know, your mother. I'm telling you, my mother was so funny. Oh, God. She taught me the love of words. She had this weird sense of humor that, no, it was weird. Would do these things to her all the time. I always loved to embarrass her. We used to have this thing where she used to make me go in and pay like the water bill and this bill. I said, would you just mail it? No, we'll just go up to Belk Lindsay up here and we'll pay. I said, I got to go up to the second floor and I got to go. What? Can't you? Okay, I got to wait. She's driving around. Remember those mother cars, like station wagons? Like, what is this thing? Wood on the side. It's like, what is this? It's a tank. Anyway, but there was this. But when she would come out and she'd drive around, so I would come out and I would pretend I had the most horrible disease. I wasn't trying to mock people, but I would come out and go, loud and, just, going up to people and flailing, and she'd be like this, and I could see her in the car like, you son of a, and I go, Mommy, and I would go to her on the front of the car and hang on it, Mama. Did I do anything? No. He goes, great. Do it again. Now we're going to go pay the web. I said, I got to do this again. It would all the time. She would do this thing one time. She would take she would take like Sweet and Low. I said, my father was like, I'll buy you Sweet and Low. No, it's not yours. You can't take Sweet and Low. If I use them all, but you didn't use them all. I said, I don't know what you're taking. So one time, she had her purse and I took silverware, put it in her purse. I took, remember the old sugar thing with a little flap? I had that in there. So anyway, she says, okay, let's go. And she picks her purse. She goes, what is this? Chink. No racial. It was the sound. So I said, what is this? Would you, I think you're a single. I didn't take that. I'm pulling out knives, forks. It was great. Crawford was in Jefferson, Georgia. Jacob's Pharmacy was in Atlanta. I would have loved to have seen that. Loved to have seen that, sir. One time, thank you. One time I went to see a movie and I walked in and I said, my mother wasn't cheap, but she loved a bark. I said, by the way, this is before senior. I said, do you have a senior discount for her? She's obviously elderly. My mother's looking at me like, he goes, yes, we do. She says, oh, okay. She didn't mind that. I said, see? I said, by the way, one more thing. And there are people behind us. I said, listen, she's not the smartest woman. She won't understand the movie. See, because she won't enjoy it. It's like, would you charge somebody who's blind to see a movie? No. So she won't enjoy it. Can you knock a couple bucks off more? She doesn't. She says, that's enough. And another thing, always busting balls. Always. And she loved it. And she never said, stop doing this. She encouraged it. Always encouraged it. My poor sister, I said, you were adopted. She said, what? I said, yeah, the police brought you. The police brought me? Of course, she was 38 years old at the time. So she'd go to my mother and say, am I adopted? He goes, are you telling her your sister you're adopted? I said, facts are facts. You're not adopted. Stop it. I said, you have arthritis. What? Because she was very skinny. Arthritis. Yeah. And my mother would yell, are you telling your sister you got arthritis? I said, look, she doesn't have to be ashamed. You don't have arthritis and you weren't adopted. The other one too. Oh, she had eczema one time. It's no big deal. I said, you put your hand in a barbecue. Don't you remember this? Maybe the trauma. What? She went, and I heard my mother yell, you did not put your hand. Always. You could tell her anything. She believed anything you told her. So we would laugh at this stuff. And I would, but the fact that she's not here, but again, I only want her here. She'd be 93, I want her to be in good health. I don't want her to be, sick. But just remember this. So while your parents are there, just remember this. I'm telling you. And another thing too is if you can possibly do this, record them. Now that you got a phone in your phone, record them. Record them. Can you imagine if you had your grandfather or grandmother on a video? Tell us where you're from. What was it like when you were born? How old were you? What was the first thing you remember? What is your biggest, and wouldn't you love to know your grandparents at their age? Or your parents at your age? So they were peers, not in that differential. I think it'd be amazing. Like everything else, you don't know what you've got till it's gone, Joni Mitchell said. So anyway, so also, and also another thing too is when you go to get your Christmas cards, look for Spanish cards. And I always look to mahogany. These are black cards for black parents. Black. I would give my mother soulful cards, Spanish, anything but all. I like them. They're very soulful. They were kind of like gratuitously referencing race in a Mother's Day. I don't know, like you're a woman, it's like, and you can see kind of like this woman has an afro, and my mother said, thanks. I said, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with it? It's the thought that counts. Oh, is it the black thing? Is that it? You racist. And we would laugh and always busting balls. So that's what it's like. So anyway, so if you've lost your mother, just think of her. Connect. When you see something funny, when you see something that reminds you, like, who was it? Warren Zevon, keep me in your heart tonight. Always think about this. Keep that. I don't really believe in spiritual stuff, but I do believe in some kind of weird, like a party line, so to speak, where we're connecting. Anyway, enough of that. Thank you, my friends. Thank you. Like the video, subscribe to Lionel Nation, and you thank me. Remember, you are part of our group. We are Lionel Nation. No matter what happens, no matter what you think, you're always welcome here. And we love each other. We show each other respect. You got that? Like Pat Cooper would say, respect. That's it. And we're all in this together, brother. Okay, you got that? Okay, you have a great and a glorious night. I love you all. See you tomorrow. And until then, my friends, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's, by the way, Lynn's Warriors, sign up. Subscribe. Monkey's dead. Show's over. Sue ya. That.